Welcome along and welcome back to Attingham Park. Today we are going to be cracking on with the harvest. We're going to be getting the 7810 out and doing some carting with that. And we've got the baling to finish. This John Deere 690, along with our now properly branded county tractor. Although I've not got the county on the front of the bonnet, I have managed to get it on the sides. So, yeah, we've got our... This is no longer a lizard, which is great. So, yeah, we'll jump in the 7810. I want to get this down to the field and get our combine started. And then once this is going and everything is sort of working and going as it should with our combine, and that starts working its way back across this sorghum field, we can look at getting the bales finished off. And I think we're gonna go and lease a bale stacker, simply because, well, we've run out of money. If you didn't see right at the end of the previous video, we managed to win the auction for field 6. So as a result, we now have another field to have a play around with. Trouble is, we are also running out of time. It is the 2nd day of September. I think, looking at our setup, that we're coming to the end of when we can plant canola. So I don't think we're going to get any more canola in this year. We do have, though, 2 days in October where we can plant both wheat and barley, and I really want to get those done. So what we're going to have to do is turn around this field. I probably think this field will go to something else next year. It's fairly huge. I think I want to divide it into a pair of fields, maybe, because of its size. And yeah, I don't think we're going to get anything in it this year. And I think instead we might try and get wheat and or barley in this year. Now, I have been sent a couple of updated UK based crop calendars for use on here, so I'm going to try and get those installed before we plant anything, because I don't want to muck up any of our crops that either are still growing or have yet to or that we newly plant. So yeah, that's going to be a little bit of fun. Now, I should have lined this up, I think, to do this properly. Yeah, in on this row, back on the next. In actual fact, I think we're maybe at the wrong end of the field here. Looking at the way that goes and the way that comes across, no, I think we are in the right place. So that's good. So turn that on. I want to take the lines off, and we'll just do is start and finish. We'll turn on the header, turn on the thresher. And as we got the header already down, we should be good. Just get ourselves far enough onto this row to then set it off going. And yeah, it's not a massive... No, we weren't massively off. But our combine, yeah, should now get going. And we can leave this tractor up here to collect the first load once we are sorted. Meanwhile, we're going to jump into the county here and get this working. So yeah, I like the slightly odd tractor setup of having this on here. I mean, this is a great fieldwork tractor for us and is absolutely brilliant as far as that goes. I want to get, as I said, the Zebra on here, but we do only have 31,000, and the Zebra is 41,000. Even getting something older, like a 7610 or something like that, is not doable, because even that is 38,000 at least. I think the 5610 version of that is 38,000. So anyway I look at it, we aren't going to be able to get this or get another tractor immediately. We are getting a lot of crop in, of course. We've got the field of sorghum we're currently harvesting. We've got the field of canola that is almost grown. And once those two are harvested as well, that should give us a good amount of harvest to sell, and that will sell over the winter. So we'll be able to afford new equipment, I think, by the new year on here, which is really good news. We may do sorghum as a crop on here. I quite like it. It's an easy crop to run, and with the current calendar we have, we can plant it in the new year. I think with the updated calendar, we will be able to do something similar. So it'll be a good way of a good crop for us to do on here. It pays fairly well as well. So yeah, I think sorghum is possibly something we will continue on here. Certainly want to do some wheat or some barley, and got my eyes possibly on doing some sugar beet as well. I think that would be a good crop. Although particularly large field, I think it would be a problem. Certainly, I think this tractor might be able to run a sugar beet harvester for us. Coming up to the end of the headland, and I've just realized something else about today. Because we are in the end of September, we have got, well, the window to harvest the sorghum closes today. So we've got to get that done by the end of this video, by the end of, today's video. Otherwise, it's all going to wither and we're going to lose a massive amount of income, which we really, really need. I mean, that field is huge, and there's a lot of sorghum in it. Already, I think we've delivered 2 full trailers off it. And that's just on the headlands. So, yeah, there's a significant amount of crop sitting on those headland, sitting on that field that we need to get up, and yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a push. I think we might end up eventually running 2 combines on this farm with the size of the fields that we've got. I think it might be something that makes sense to us from that point of view. I really do like this county. It's handling this fairly well, although I think, well, with it lifted, it's okay. Yeah, no, in 8th gear, it is running okay. And I think we might have to do alternate rows going across the field. Not the end of the world, though, because that means we will finish back at this side of the field, which is near our exit. Almost made it across the field for the first time. I think our combine is getting fairly full at this point. So we're going to have to go and empty that in a moment. There's not a huge amount of straw on here, to be honest. We're not kicking out bales very often. They tend to, well, yeah, I'm doing entire rows with no bale popping out. So it's not a huge amount of straw we've got here. Should be enough to get us started with the pigs. And that's what we were looking for. I think the pigs we're ending up, or we're looking at ending up getting them done in the new year. Once we get a little bit of cash in, we can start getting set up for those. I want to get some gardens in to get some pig food generated, because we can grow bits for pig food in the gardens, which will be very useful to us. And actually just sort of reworking that entire far side of the yard to make that work a little bit better for us. Now that we've removed the horse stables, there is that big area over there. As I said, I'd like to build a farmhouse over there, and I'd like to get some gardens. We may get some chickens over there as well, because chickens are always good for a little bit of extra income. And yeah, there's a lot to do in the yard. However, our combine is full, so let's go and get that emptied. Looks like it's doing the final row along here, maybe, which is good. And yeah, with the manual unload turned off, it will actually empty. And what we can do is keep this moving, so it's not having to be stopped to empty. This should do about half of the trailer, which is good. And then we can get back to doing the baling. Coming up to having emptied our combine. There we go. We'll pull over 46%. So yeah, one of the nice things about this Marston trailer in comparison to our combine, it takes just over 2 full loads. and therefore is a really good companion to the combine. That should keep our combine going for a while now, though, which will be good. As I said, we've got to get that sorghum done today, and I think it may be a case of slowing down the time as we get a bit later and just making sure that it all gets harvested. Yeah, we'll get the bales off here today. We'll get these stored, and then I want to turn my attention to trying to get this mulched. As I said, we don't have a huge amount of money, but if we can get a mulcher working around here, there are a couple of rollers that I think would work well for us for both the mulching function and for the roller function. There's one I've got on Calmsden, which is really good. Does both functions and would be a very useful one to have on here. We'll have a look and see what the price of that is later. It may be, as I said, though, we don't get to do everything. Oh, we need to scan these fields. We have not yet done any precision farming scanning on here. So, yeah, we need to find out what soil we're dealing with and treat these fields appropriately for that as well. Final row on this field, and I'm interested to see what our final bale count is off here. We are well before midday, which is good news. And well before, actually, we've got even a full trailer off the field. So, yeah, very good news. And bringing it up to the end of the row. Oh, wow. There's actually more row here to go than I think. Yeah, we've not got a huge amount of bales. These rows are fairly slim, and there's not a lot of straw in them. You can see here we are going to get up to about 60%. Yeah, spot on 60%. Turn it off. And one more bale in here for us to drop out. So we'll do that there. Right, and then fold it up. Yeah, there we go. Right, so we need to get this back to the farm. And then I think we'll head down to the shop and borrow a bale stacker so that we can just get these bales off this field. I don't think we want to get a front loader quite yet. We will do, but at the moment, we don't really have the cash to do it. I've dropped the baler off and we're just heading down to the shop now in our county. Let's drop this here. Turn it off and we'll pop in. And what I want to do is grab the Anderson bale stacker. Now, there's two Anderson bale stackers that come in here or that are available. I've added this one. It's the same price as the Arcusan. Now, the difference is that this will take the bales and it will push them off the back rather than this, which stacks a stack too high unless we have a telehandler. So we want to grab this. I'm going to put no license plate on it because it is only going to be leased for today. So there's no point in doing that. I will put the Michelin tires on it, which doesn't cost anything extra. And if we lease that, it's going to cost us nearly $5 grand to lease. Considering what everything else would cost in order to get set up to stack these, I think that's worth it. I think that's worth the cost. It's not going to take us very long to get them stacked with this, and yeah, we're not ready to be doing full stacking and everything with equipment yet, especially as we don't have a front loader or a telehandler. And I think we're getting to the point now where we're going to start keeping an eye on the used equipment to see if we can grab anything out of there useful for our farm. Down to the field, and this doesn't look ridiculous on the back of this tractor. We've had some instances where, yeah, we've put trailers like this onto the back of these tractors, and it does just look ridiculous. This actually doesn't. This seems to work. So it should be fairly easy for us with this. And the horsepower on this tractor to be able to handle this. How many bales have we got? let's have a quick look. So total number of bales we produced is just 12. I mean, they are, what size? These are the 8,000 litre bales. So these are actually quite big, these ones. So that's why we've only got 12 of them. Not a problem for us. I think that's really good. Most of them have also dropped at this end of the field. I mean, we've got 3 on here. There's another 5 here. So, yeah, 2/3 of the bales that we've got to collect are down this side and this end of the field, which is quite useful and quite helpful. And then the last 4 are sort of spread out over there. So, yeah, this is not going to take long at all. And with only 12 bales, they will all fit on this stacker, because I think this takes a total of 14. Combine needs unloading again. And will unload as it moves, as it did before. So let's keep that moving and keep that going together. So this will be the second tank off this field today, and means that, yeah, this is going to go and get tipped into our grain store. And the grain, the sorghum, you can see just peeking at the top of the trailer there. 94%, and combine is empty. So let's go tip this and keep that moving. We are making progress on this field, but maybe not as fast as I would have liked. Into our tipping point. In fact, I just missed it. I need to back up and tip. There we go. That is looking really good. Another 13,000 litres. There is an awful lot of sorghum still to come off here. This is going to be a long old job. Final 2 bales off this field, and then we can get this back up to the farm. I'm of 2 minds of exactly where to go next. We want to, as I said, we want to get this unloaded and probably into somewhere where we can just thread it through. I do have a barn that might work for it, and it's somewhere that actually would do better as somewhere to store grain, which is why I'm very iffy about putting the bales in there. I want to kind of avoid that if I can. So we'll see how far this sticks out and how well this fits in the other shed. But for now, this is fairly nicely done and dusted. Field 2 would be a really good purchase for us. I really like the size of that, and it's a little bit bigger than Field 1, a good size bigger than Field 1. But it's nowhere near the size of the other field that we've got, our current field of sorghum. Now, where I want to put this is in this shed here. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to back this up and measure how far in these bales should get. And then if it's far enough, then we'll unload them into it. And yes, these bales are going to easily make it into that. So unload position. That's the other thing. Make sure that I don't hit the side. And line them up. And unload them. And yeah, against the back wall. And then keep them pushed up there as we just slowly back out. Oh, pull out, sorry. And down. And then I should be able to use the forks just to push it all together. There we go. Right, that is all the bales that we have to do on here, which is quite good. I mean, that is very good. Now, how much does this cost a day, I wonder? Let's have a look in here for our bale loaders. I actually have a trailer that I'm looking to get instead. So leasing that costs 900 a day. I think that's too much of a drain on our money to keep around. So we will get this. We'll get this returned. We'll take it up to the shop, get this returned, and then I need to look at what next job we might want to do with this tractor. And what we might be able to afford to get that done. Into the shop, we bring this back. Yeah, and then into here. And we need to get, I think we need to get a mulcher and get that field mulched next is our great thing. So we'll drop this off here. And then I'm going to hop up to the shop and sort the next bit out. And this is the thing. It's making sure we have enough money to keep things going. Right, so leased. Let's return that. Yes. Okay. Happy with that. Yeah, our Land Rover, of course, is leased at the moment. But, yeah, you tend to buy modern cars that way anyway. Let's have a look in here. Let's have a look actually in here first. What do we got? We've got a John Deere 4755 as an option. Actually, a good tempo seeder and a Grimmy potato harvest potato planter. That Ziegler header as well would be a good one. But I'm not looking to do corn or sunflowers anytime soon. But 7,500, that's actually a really good price. What we do need, though, is something to do some mulching with. In fact, ideally, we want... do we have... Oh, we do have some rollers in here. We've got these max cuts for 22,000. Now, the ones I really did like, I do like those, the Knoch ones. That is a good width, 130 horsepower is well within our tractor. Very simple. 5.6 meter width, so decent width, especially for the size of fields that we're dealing with. Yeah, I think I might go with this, but because it's 21,000, we are going to need to lease it. £210 a day, that's fine, and not expensive per working hour, yes. And I think we're going to be leasing a lot of equipment for a while. We do have the lease purchase mod on here, so what we'll be able to do is when we get the money in and we've got the pieces of equipment that we want, we'll be able to purchase them and do it that way, which I think is a great way for us to do it. And we may end up getting our third tractor that way as well, especially if we find that we need to spend a lot of money setting up the pigs. Getting a yard tractor that isn't going to be used massively that way is definitely going to be a good way to do it. Right, let's head back down to our wheat field and yeah, get that mulched. One great advantage we've got to running the two tractors we are running on here is that they're very similar power levels, means that they're pretty interchangeable when it comes to using equipment. So that is going to make our lives a lot easier in the end. All right, let's back this up. Down it goes, and away we go with the mulching. And yeah, nice, good working speed on this, and a good working width means that we should be able to blast through this field while we're getting the other field cut. While I said these two tractors are interchangeable, the 7810 does have one big advantage over the county. And that is that the county's turning circle, as we've established already, is awful. It really doesn't turn very far. It's a side effect of the giant wheels that are on the front of it. And as a result, it just doesn't turn with any really good turning circle. So it does mean that we have to do a lot of reversing and going backwards and forwards with this, a bit more than we would have to do with the 7810. It's not the end of the world, and this tractor is still working very well for me on here. It is one of those things though where you kind of go, yeah, this might be a little bit quicker if I was using my carting tractor, but then my carting tractor's carting. This tractor is blasting through this field. We are nearly halfway through at this point, and I'm leaving a good amount of space at the end. As I mentioned before, this is because we're trying to give enough space for the turning circle of this. But it is doing well, and I'm very happy with our progress. I have slowed the time down to 5 times, which you might have noticed before. And this is purely because if we look at our progress in here, and yeah, looking on field 12, you can see how much of this field we've got left to go. We're maybe a third of the way through the main body of the field, so it's still going to take a while to get through. It does get thinner the further down it we go, and this is the final row here. So I'll probably go and try and empty that combine in a moment, because I don't want it going halfway through the next row and then having to cut in and so that it can empty. And our tractor is sitting just there, so it's a perfect time to deal with it. So let's get our combine emptied, see how full it is. I think it's looking fairly full, but not massively so. And yeah, that just looks like a lot of field go compared to the amount of field we've done. It's a massive undertaking, this field, and yeah, I think this is gonna end up being a 2 combine farm, which is it's gonna be really useful and really nice for doing courseplay stuff with. I don't think it's gonna save us today though, because we really do not have enough money to get a second combine on here. We've currently got rain forecast for later. Thankfully, it's not until about 8 in the evening. I think that's going to give us plenty of time to get, well, certainly this field done, but I think the sorghum, we will get that all up today. We have to get that all up today, so there's not much choice. But I will get it up before the rain falls, I think. We will go till about 5:30 in this video, as I normally do. Whether we get, well, I don't think we'll get to the end of the sorghum field by that point. There we go. What we should do though is get a good chunk of it done, and I'll get the rest of it done off camera before next time. This field though, this field is almost done. Look at this. This is what I've been concentrating on here today, because this is the thing that I know absolutely I can clear off today. So let's just go through these last few rows, and then I've got the headland to finish off, and that will then put this field done. Come to the end of the main part of the field without the headlands. So what I'm going to do is head over to the entrance. We're going to start on the headland bits and get them done, and yeah, doing it in a fairly decent amount of time. Quite happy with this. Something I do need to do, and that we still need to make sure that we've got enough cash about to do, of course, is get these fields scanned. We're gonna have to grab a piece of kit and do that. I'd like to put that on the 7810, but obviously that is doing all the carting at the moment, and it's going to be quite difficult to do that. So let's get this lined up. We're going to have to come across this bit a little bit different at the end. Yeah, and line ourselves up here. Right. And yeah, we got 2 widths of headland rather nicely, so this should work pretty well. Now this is the bit that gets a little bit fiddly into this corner. I can't get right up into it, so what we have to do is just fill this bit in a bit further, and then we can maneuver around at the other side. So yeah, lots of fiddly bits, but it has worked out quite well. I am very, very pleased with this, and if we can duplicate this sort of run with our seeder, I think we'll be doing very well. If I could get a direct seeder, that'd be great, but I think a seeder with a really good width is probably going to be more important. So I have one in mind. First though, as I said, I want to sort out our crop calendar and get that corrected. We want to get our last crop sorted first, so the canola ready to harvest. Then we can apply the crop calendar and make sure that everything is going to work properly when we convert over to it. And there we go. That is this field all done. We just need to come up and turn around this corner bit here to get this done. And brilliant. Right, so that is that field done, and this field finished for today. That is ready to be Well, actually, do we need to plow anything? This is going to be a big question. Is what is the plowing situation? Thankfully, oh no, this field needs plowing. Thankfully, our other two and field 6 don't. So yeah, we're going to have to get the plow out with this and do that. And yeah, we're probably going to have to lease that as well. Once again, our harvester needs to be unloaded though. And this is what I was talking about wanting to avoid earlier. You can see the harvesters had to cut into the next rows in order to give it space to unload. We want to unload this under the wheels to give a better balance. But yeah, so the harvester will now, once it's empty, have to cut back out and go back into the row it has. It's not a huge problem. It would be a bigger problem if we were creating straw off this field, because it would just create havoc for trying to bale it. But as it stands for here, it's not a huge issue. And there we go. So we're going to reverse out the way so that we don't stay in the way of the combine. And there you go. It cuts back into this row and then back out. And we'll leave it in this fairly largish area here, because that then will allow the combine to get past. But for today, I think that's where I'm going to leave it here, because we've got a fair amount left to do on this field. And I'm going to have to get it done mostly off camera, I think, in order to get it in time. It is going to be a very large amount of sorghum, which is fantastic. For now, though, all that remains is for me to say
thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, drop us a comment, and give it a share. Special thanks to all my patrons and channel members. Your support is invaluable in making these videos and helping the channel to grow. For more from Virtual Farmer, check out the links below, follow on Twitch to watch live, and for more videos, subscribe and ring that bell. I will see you next time. Goodbye.